The sun rose gently over the land of Amandi, and nothing about that morning warned the people that their story would be remembered for generations, because true change often begins quietly. Amandi was a kingdom like many others, with red earth roads, tall baobab trees, busy markets, and people who laughed, cried, worked, and hoped in small ways. For years, the kingdom had been ruled by fear, and fear had taught the people to bow quickly, speak softly, and hide their dreams deep inside their hearts. When the old king died, the people expected another iron hand, because power in Amandi had always come with shouting, punishment, and blood. But what they received was Queen Zainabu, a woman whose voice was calm, whose eyes listened before they judged, and whose strength was quiet enough to be mistaken for weakness. On her first day as queen, the palace guards waited for orders to intimidate the people, but she surprised everyone by walking alone into the market. That single walk shook the kingdom more than any war drum, because leaders who walk among their people expose their hearts to truth. She greeted traders by name, listened to farmers complain about drought, and bent down to speak to children eye to eye. That day, the people learned the first lesson of leadership. A leader who listens earns loyalty without demanding it. Some elders whispered that kindness would destroy the throne, because fear had always been the glue holding the kingdom together. But Queen Zainabu believed something different, something dangerous, something powerful, that love, when practiced wisely, could rule longer than fear. When thieves were caught stealing from the royal storehouse, the council demanded public punishment to scare others. Instead, the queen asked the thieves one simple question: "Why did you steal?" Hunger answered before fear could, and that truth broke the silence, like thunder. Rather than cutting hands, she opened grain reserves and created work for the jobless. That decision taught the kingdom that justice, without compassion, only creates smarter criminals, but justice with love creates change. Slowly, fear began to loosen its grip, and hope started walking freely in the streets. Yet love-driven leadership always attracts enemies, and Queen Zainabu's greatest test did not come from outside the kingdom, but from within. A powerful warlord, raised on violence and fear, challenged her authority, claiming the people needed a strong hand, not a soft heart. The kingdom held its breath, expecting blood to speak louder than wisdom. But the queen invited the warlord to sit beside her, not below her, and asked him to share his vision. By giving respect instead of humiliation, she disarmed his anger before it could become violence. That day, the kingdom learned that humility can silence even the loudest threats. Seasons passed, and the land began to change, not because magic fell from the sky, but because people felt safe enough to care again. Farmers shared tools, neighbors rebuilt broken homes, and elders began teaching children stories of unity instead of fear. When drought struck, instead of blaming the throne, the people came together, because trust had replaced suspicion. The queen led relief efforts with empty hands and a full heart, proving that leadership is not about having answers, but about standing present in crisis. One night, a fire broke out in the poorest quarter of the kingdom, and flames swallowed homes faster than fear could run. The queen arrived before the fire died, barefoot and coughing, helping to carry children and the elderly to safety. That night, the people saw the deepest truth of leadership: love that does not act is only words. Her actions built a bond no decree could ever command. Still, ruling with love was not easy, because love requires patience, and patience is tested by betrayal. A trusted advisor stole gold meant for schools, believing the queen's kindness made her weak. When the betrayal was exposed, the kingdom demanded harsh punishment to protect the queen's image. Instead, she removed him from power, returned the stolen wealth, and sent him into exile, not with curses, but with forgiveness. She told the people, "Fear hides mistakes, but love corrects them." That lesson taught the kingdom that accountability does not need cruelty to be effective. Children grew up watching a ruler who did not shout to be obeyed, and they learned that strength can be calm. Young leaders emerged who valued service over power, because leadership modeled with love multiplies itself. As years passed, Neighboring kingdoms noticed that Amandi had fewer soldiers, but stronger unity. They sent spies, expecting weakness, but found something harder to defeat: a people who believed in their leader and in one another. When invasion finally came, the people defended their land not because they were forced, but because they cared. Love had built a shield stronger than fear ever could. After the victory, Queen Zainabu refused celebrations of blood and instead honored lives saved. She reminded the kingdom that winning without losing humanity is the greatest victory of all. In her old age, the queen gathered the people one final time, sitting beneath the baobab tree where elders once ruled with fear. She told them, "A kingdom ruled by fear may survive, but a kingdom ruled by love will live." When she passed, there was no panic because she had built systems, values, and hearts, not dependency. The people mourned, but they did not collapse because true leaders prepare others to stand without them. Years later, mothers still told their children stories of the queen who ruled with love instead of fear. Those stories carried lessons deeper than laws: that leadership is service, hope is contagious, love is strength, and fear is a poor teacher. And so, Amandi lived on, not as a perfect kingdom, but as a reminder that when love leads, humanity follows. Because in the end, the greatest crown is not worn on the head, but carried in the heart.